You guys live?
Not yet.
Is it cool if I just chill in here on mute?
Oh, I don't care.
Swats?
He just stepped away for a second. I'll be right back.
All right, everybody, welcome to Turn Down for What. We are here at iRacing Superspeedway, the fantasy track iRacing put out. Pete is in the booth with me tonight. Everybody knows him as Repeat. Repeat, you got a copy?
I got you, Swats. How are you, bud?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm excited for this race. I'm excited to watch some of the diving, bouncing around, all that kind of stuff we see on these massive speedways. This one is way bigger than the regular Superspeedways. Talladega, Daytona. This one is going to blow those out the water. If you have not watched iRacing Superspeedway before, whether on the Coca-Cola series or any other type of iRacing league, definitely pay attention and watch tonight. It is gigantic. The trucks will be moving at super fast speeds. So a lot of draft, a lot of moving back and forth. You can go 5 wide, 6 wide, 7 wide on the backstretch if you really wanted to go that far down onto the apron. But Pete, this should be exciting. I've been waiting for this track. It's one of my favorite tracks to run. That's why I will be running Tuesday night in the Xfinity Series to try to get my first win in Turn Down for What. But I mean, Pete, what are you excited about for tonight?
Well, man, I actually sent out a tweet the other night, and I tagged you and put your channel out there. What I like in this place too is Martinsville on steroids. It's basically Martinsville stretched out to 3 miles long with greater banking than either Daytona or Talladega. And as you said, you can go 5, 6, or 7 wide here if you can control it all. Now these guys, they're gonna get very, very aggressive throughout the night. They're going to take the monster runs that they get at this monster track. I mean, it's like you said, it's been a race on the schedule that I've also been kind of looking forward to, whether it was as a driver in that number 8 Rays Silverado or up here with you in the booth. It's going to be a great night.
Yeah, we see the track map flashing in the background. You see some trucks on track. That's the banking. It's severe compared to Talladega, Daytona. I think it's like 12% or 12 degrees bigger banking than Talladega, which is insane because Talladega is really banked, and so is Daytona. You can see the shape of the track. The track map is coming up right now. It is very, very long on the straightaways. Corners are very long. So, I mean, like Pete said, 3-mile track is insane. But the speeds that these guys will be carrying, it'll be basically the time frame that it takes to run a Talladega lap or just a little bit over a Talladega lap because of the speeds that they're running. Talladega will run anywhere between 190 and close to 200 in these trucks. I think they're going to be, what's the speed for tonight, 230 or something like that for these trucks. So it should be pretty insane. Tuesday night's race with Rick James TV1 will be in the Xfinity cars, and I believe they're up around like 240, 245. So definitely tune in Tuesday as well. Pete, we've got some big news that dropped over the weekend in our Discord for Turn Down for What, but I want to bring it up now so everybody knows about it ahead of time. We'll talk about it each week up until this specific event. It is the Turn Down for What All-Star Race. It is being brought to you on February 2nd on Rick James TV 1. It will be a very, very entertaining race, in my opinion. What we put together between myself and Papa talking back and forth, it will be 2 of the series on track at the same time on Talladega Speedway. Truck Series, Xfinity Series, both on track. So you're going to have guys all over the place. The trucks won't have the speed the Xfinity cars do, so eventually, if it goes green, which these guys are known for going green, the Xfinity cars, in a sense, could lap the truck drivers. But those don't, it doesn't matter. It's whoever wins in the Xfinity car series and whoever wins in the truck series car. Whoever's the first truck series and whoever's the first Xfinity car, those are our winners for the 2 series divisions that we will have on track at the same time. It's going to be massively fun. I think it's exciting. It's an all-star race, so it's, kind of fantasy. Put them all on the track at the same time, see who comes out on top. You're going to have some guys trying to work with, the trucks from Xfinity. You're going to have some trucks trying to keep up with the Xfinity cars. You could have guys trying to make moves and other guys trying to make moves. And like I said, when they come up and to try to lap those cars, Pete, it's going to be tough to figure out where to go because if the trucks are too wide, where does the Xfinity car go? Do they go 3 wide and take them all on the outside and go by them? Or do they, try to radio ahead and say, hey, can you guys get in one line? Who's going to do that?
Yeah, it's going to be a whole lot of fun. First off, talking about speeds, I just went back, and Cole Snyder in this practice, he had the fastest mile per hour. Maybe not necessarily the fastest lap because I'm sure he might have had to check up or maybe got into an issue or whatever. But 237 miles per hour in a truck around this 3-mile wildly banked super speedway. So that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea as to how fast these guys are going, how quick they get into these very, very aggressive turns, because there's actually a little bit of a bump before you get into 1. And again, before you get into 3, that will try to shove you up track. It's always best to kind of keep about a truck to maybe a truck length and a half behind the guy in front of you. That way it'll kind of, you can gauge that corner a little bit better and it doesn't shove you up the track. As far as this all-star race, yeah, absolutely. It's going to kind of look like the Daytona 24-hour race that we're going to see on January the 22nd, where you've got the LMP2s, you've got all kinds of GTE cars, where you've got many different classes. It's basically just like an IMSA race. Many different classes of cars traveling different speeds, and you'll have one winner out of each class. So you'll have an LMP2 class winner, and then you'll have a GTE winner. So with that, you'll have a truck winner, and you'll have an Xfinity winner. And the communication between all those guys out there on track is going to have to be on point. I'm sure you'll probably hear a whole lot of chatter in and around team comms and Discord to make sure everybody can get their point across when need be. What track are we talking about, Swats?
It will be at Talladega. So you get a really big super speedway track, really wide, gives enough room for the trucks and Xfinity cars to make passes when they need to, when they come up on each other. Because obviously, like I said, the trucks will not be able to keep up with the Xfinity cars. Even if you're in the draft, it's going to pull away. You can hold for just a little while, but it's eventually going to separate. And if you are if the truck is in front of an Xfinity car, that Xfinity car is going to be right on the back bumper, pushing and shoving that truck, because there is a pretty different speed differential between the two different cars. So it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be entertaining. It's kind of something Papa and I were just kind of throwing back and forth. I had talked to you. I had talked to a couple other different drivers, and I was like, this would be kind of cool just to throw together, see, what kind of happens. But January 30th, they will have the heat race. Now, right now, I don't know if we have a broadcaster for the heat race, but the way you're entered into the All-Star race is points, pole, and if you've won. So if you're in the top 10 at the points at the end of the season when we go to Charlotte and we finish that race, if you are in the top 10 of the points, you automatically qualify for the All-Star race. If you have won throughout the season a race, you are automatically qualified in the All-Star race. If you have received a pole for a race throughout the entire season, whether you're in trucks or Xfinity, for any of those rules, you are automatically qualified for the All-Star race. Then we will do the heat race. And I believe we still haven't decided how many from the heat race will move on. We're kind of looking to see what the numbers will be right now. I think we have 20 drivers or 21 drivers that have put up attending so far in the 3-week race or 3.5-week race from now. So I think it'll come down to like 5 or 10 guys will transfer, maybe from each series that's not in the points or have won or gotten a pole. So we should end up with about 30 vehicles on track. Somewhere around the same. Right now, I think we have 9 trucks and 11 Xfinity drivers marked as attending. So it should definitely be entertaining, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can't wait whether I'm out there on track or if I'm in the booth with whoever's broadcasting it. It's going to be a phenomenal race, and there's different settings in the couple of different tools that you and I use, whether it is in SDK or otherwise, that you can actually separate the classes of cars. So we'll be able to keep up with everybody and everything that's going on. And yeah, it to the best of my knowledge, I think that will actually be the first All-Star race that has that kind of a platform. So good job by you and Pop Bear for getting all that together.
Yeah, we kind of wanted to be a little bit different. We kind of wanted it to be, fun. Normally, All-Star races in the middle of a season, but Papa kind of wanted everybody to kind of focus and go all the way through the season, then worry about having fun after the season. Hopefully, nobody holds grudges throughout the whole season and brings it into an All-Star race, because prizes will be given out for first place for each class. So definitely don't want any incidents like that or anything like that. But these guys are known for being clean. I think they went on a 5 or 6 race streak of 0 cautions. And I think they've only had like 6 cautions in the last like 6 or 7 races between the 2 different classes that turned down for what races. So these guys are known for being clean. So I don't see any issues. But, Pete, let's throw in the national anthem real quick so we can get in here. Qualifying's taking place right now. I see a few drivers have qualified. We'll come back and check out the gridding to see, who's where. Right now, I believe it's Zach Meredith on the pole, but we'll see who ends up there. So let's give the big shout-out to the red, white, and blue, all the people out there, men and women that run towards danger and defend us every single day, whether it's military, EMS, firefighting, police, doctors, nurses, those type of people that all do everything they can for us every single day, and let's just salute to them. So we'll be right back, and we'll run the national anthem. All right, Pete, we are back from the national anthem, and we are on track right now. I believe that is the 99. That would be Cole that is out on track right now in that box cave machine, and he is flying around, and it looks like he's actually going to go down pits. So that qualifying's over. So he didn't get his last lap in. But it is the one and only J-Paw, Josh Arnold, on the pole by 3/100ths. Are we surprised, Pete?
Not at all. Yeah, he actually, it wasn't here. It was Talladega, the first time that I remember him winning at a super speedway, and he did it running out of gas. So hopefully, if he can do it tonight, maybe not be so aggressive. But yeah, it's going to be Josh Arnold, Jeff Lednam, Enrique Quinones, Mr. Peach, Mr. Meredith, Manning, Radford, Snyder, Murphy, Lehman, Mike Campbell, old Papa Bear. Again, big thank you to him for giving all these guys and us a great series to either race or call. Josh Franks, Mike Allen, Mr. Roberts, Mr. Hanley, old Mr. Millsap, and then back there in P17, he's that's the 27 Mr. Wade. There we go.
Yeah, I'm definitely not surprised to see Josh Arnold on top. I call him Mr. Speedway or Super Speedway. Yep. Ever since on the Xbox side, it seemed to be always, J-Paw or, if you haven't figured it out by now, it's probably going to be J-Paw forever until we say Josh Arnold. But it's J-Paw to me. But yeah, J-Paw was always the one out, leading the field or, being the guy to be up in the top 5 consistently on a super speedway. There's a rule that we had on Xbox side designated that came from J-Paw. So it's just it's crazy how good he is at the super speedways, and it never fails. He's usually right at the front, if not always in the top 5 at a super speedway. He wins a lot of super speedways. Come Tuesday night, though, I think we have a new crown being passed over to Matt Boone in the Xfinity Series for Super Speedways, as Matt has won Daytona, iRacing Super Speedway, Nashville Super Speedway. So I think it's being handed over from Josh, and Josh does race in that Xfinity Series. So I think Josh is kind of on a little bit of a bad streak when it comes to the Xfinity side with winning Super Speedways. But here at the Truck Series, I don't know if you'll find anybody better than Josh Arnold on a super speedway, and iRacing Super Speedway is the mecca of super speedways when it comes to speed and draft and figuring out how to put that truck in positions that is just carrying as much speed as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Even Boehner shouted out both Matt Boone and Josh Arnold or J-Paw during last week's B-Water race. Or the duels rather, because those guys have won, as you just said, 5 of the last 6 super speedway races in the turn down for what Xfinity Series on Tuesday nights when Rick James is at the helm. So we'll have to see. The 22, he's got the pole, he's got the 37 of Jeff Lednam to his outside. While we were waiting for all this to kick off, you had actually said Jeff might have a really good chance. Well, starting P2, if you're not setting on pole, it's the next best place to be. But Swats, looks like green flag's in the air.
Yeah, green flag's in the air for iRacing Super Speedway. Josh Arnold leads them to the the finish line. Mike Honcho being on that outside of the road, that is not a bad position to be on iRacing Super Speedway. With that high line, you can get a big run going into the corner, being high, and then trying to get down close to the bottom as you come out of the corner, and you carry so much momentum coming off of there. You'll see a lot of the guys kind of move up the track as they come out of the corners. As Pete's talked about earlier in the broadcast, going into the corners, there's a dip. So the car kind of bottoms, and you kind of shoot up the track a little bit. So you got to be aware of that. Now, when you come out of the corners, there's a bump that puts you up the track a little bit. So you're kind of all over the place, whether you're dipping, you're bouncing off the corner for coming out. So you really got to pay attention to the truck as it moves in and out of the corners. And then the straightaways are not flat. They are banked, as you can see right now, as they are 3 wide, Pete, coming through the front stretch. 4 wide. I think
26, 26 of 100 Peach. He thought about taking that 4 wide, but we're going to bring it back double one more time. It looks like the 98 of Cole Snyder, he's going to pull the outside. He kind of deposed Jeff Lednam back to P number 4 right now. And it looks like Cole Snyder in the 98 rather, of Enrique Quinones, he's now pulled back up to the rear end of his boss, and they continue to stay side by side. Now, it's only lap 2 of 80 laps. These guys are going to fight back and forth all night long at these monster speeds. It's going to be very, very interesting to see if everybody can keep it cool, calm, and collected all night long, because when the wreck happens, here it's not a matter of if. It really is just a matter of when, but when that wreck happens, it happens in a hurry, and you have little to almost no time to react. 37's going to the lead.
Yeah, I'm going to go inside the truck real quick of the 99, and you can see what he's seeing as he's going to the corners. You see the bump coming out. So the track is still banked. Now look at the 9 making a move in front of him. You see the 2 cars way out on the outside with the 50 now pushing that line as well. Now watch as he goes into the corner. There's going to be a dip, and he's going to have to turn that wheel to the left to keep it from sliding up the track. There's the dip. So the truck bottoms out. You can hear it. Even some of the other cars, you'll hear like the bang as it drops down. Looks like 99 was blinking there a little bit, but now you'll see the run coming off the corner that the 99 gets. If we go inside, oh, sorry, Pete, go ahead.
No, that's good. Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah, the 99, huge run, and now they are 3 wide for the lead of 37, the 9 of Expert Racing, and the 99 of Cole Snyder. Now back double file, 26 of Hunter Peach. He was behind the 37 of Jeff Leadenham not too long ago, giving him a big old shove on the outside, trying to keep up with the 22 of Josh Arnold. Now they're going to try 4 wide.
Yeah, these guys are all over the place. This is why I was so excited to broadcast it with you, Pete. This track is so exciting. It can be very dangerous, obviously, with so many cars on track and so many ways to move around. So wide of a surface to be able to be, 5, 6 cars wide if you really wanted to. Hopefully nobody does that, but we have seen 4 wide already. We've seen almost 5 wide. You see the runs as they come. They come out of nowhere. It's like the car just gets a boost, like you hit the nitro button and you just fly forward. That draft is what's kicking. You'll see like the 4th and 5th guy back in the line. All of a sudden he goes to a different lane and he just blows past the cars that he was following. Because that draft is so strong, the front car may be going 230, but that 3rd and 4th car may be going 235, 240 almost.
Yeah, absolutely, and that you just gave a great example of that. That's how the 3 of Terry Radford just ended up in the lead. The 9 of Josh Franks just gave him a shove all the way down the backstretch. Almost had nowhere to go with it. Terry had a pull from the truck ahead, and he pulled underneath, I think it was the 15, and was able to take that. The 9 had to get out of the gas very, very quick. Otherwise, he was going to cause a big old wreck on the coming off of the corner. But now, Swats, it looks like we're starting to see a little bit of separation. A whole lot of trucks on the bottom, only a few on the middle to high line. As you see the 50 and others dive on down, we got a long train of coming on that bottom. Everybody's kind of guiding that yellow line.
Yeah, I know everybody kind of tries to stay towards that yellow line. In my opinion, that's not the best way around the track. It is if you want to stay on the bottom with a group behind you. But that, if you put your tires, in my opinion, 1 lane up on that first black or second black stripe, I guess you would say, through the corner, that to me is where the momentum is, because you're not necessarily riding the yellow line, but you're not high enough up that the inside line is getting the shorter end of the track. So you're carrying the momentum, but you're also shortening the track by not riding the high line. So that's where I like to be, and I feel like that's where a big push usually comes of air, because those inside guys are pushing each other, and if you get the push at the right time, you can just shoot to that outside of that car, just on the outside of them, and we've seen the side draft work on super speedways. It really works on iRacing super speedway with the amount of speed and momentum these guys are carrying. You'll see it, like, look at Papa Bear right now. He's coming from 7 back, and he's coming up now to the front 2 on the outside.
Yeah, the 50 has been kind of tucked in behind that 99 for a couple laps now. Pop Bear got a big old pull all the way down the back straight, and here he is now sitting P4 on the high side with the 15 of, I believe that's going to be TJ Hanley.
Big crash!
Everybody going down the big slide. A few
Coming
people
back
were
up
able
the
to
track.
save it. Caution's out.
Looks like
the
I think
3 of
that
Terry
might have been
Radford
with the
was
3.
included.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let me go back and see. It looked like he was spun, so I'm not sure if there was a big push or something happened there. But let's go back and try to jump back and see if we can figure this out.
Yeah, I think the 99 might have come down trying to get a little bit of a side draft, as you mentioned.
It looks like the 15 cut the 99 off.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's on the higher line. Got you.
99 tried to go in between, and the 15 tried to stop the run, and it was too late. The problem with this track, and I mean, Pete, you and I have seen it multiple times running this track, is by the time you look in your mirror and see a run coming, it's too late. You can't block it. By the time you even think about turning that wheel, the guy's already to your rear fender, and you can't get back down. That's the thing with these runs that these guys are getting, is it is so fast happening that you can't block it. You just have to let them go, and then, you know, you could pass them right back in the next corner. That's just the mindset you have to have. It's not Talladega. It's not Daytona. It takes a little while to make those passes at those two tracks. At this track, you could get past in turn 3 and 4 and then repass that same guy in 1 and 2 based on the momentum and speed you're carrying, going down these long, basically a mile and a half stretch down the front stretch and back stretch. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely. And you could do it all just with the draft alone. I mean, yeah, you can get a little bit of a shove, but the draft here is absolutely crucial. If you lose that, you know, if you try to play this a little conservatively and you go to the back, more than likely you're going to lose the draft. You can get a good pull in these trucks. It's not like the next gen cars where, you know, if you could lose it even if you're just, you know, 4 or 5 tenths behind the pack. These trucks and the Xfinity, maybe not so much the Cup cars, but these two series, the truck and Xfinity cars, they can catch a whiff of the draft from a little bit further back, as it looks like a few guys have chosen to go on down pit road. A few people here, Swatch, are going to use their one and only. Yep, a few people here are going to use their one and only fast repair to get back in this, but they're going to have to be very, very careful for the rest of these laps.
Yeah, it looks like a few of them have stayed or are going to have to use those fast repairs. I don't know if I would use mine unless it's like catastrophic damage. I don't know if I would use it if I have a dent or, you know, something like that, because we're only 10 laps in. There's 70 laps to go in this race. It is going to be pack racing. If you can work with somebody else that might have a little damage, you can hang out in the back as a pair or 3 or 4 car pack and, you know, not necessarily stay with the front pack, but you can at least stay within distance of getting lapped, because the caution is going to be it's inevitable. With all these cars on this track, it's going to happen. We saw 10 laps right there, cars diving in and out of different lanes, cars trying to make blocks. Probably a little early to be making a block, but it's going to happen. So I don't know. Unless it's got catastrophic damage, I don't know if I would use mine. I'm looking at Cole's car or truck right now. It looks like he did not use his, and he has some right front damage on his truck, right on the top of the wheel well there. So I don't think he used his. I know when the 15 turned down on him, it looks like that's the damage he's gotten. You can see a little bit of damage on the back, I guess a big old dent in the back for the box cave word going across the back there. So he's got kind of a V-shaped spoiler now.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he's backed into a telephone pole. But unfortunately, when you can't determine whether you're going to use your fast repair once you're actually in the pit box. You've got to choose whether you're going to use that or not before you get there. So if you get into your pit box and if you didn't have that checked, it only shows 12 seconds of damage. You can easily stay there, get that fixed, get back out. Yeah, you'll lose a couple spots on track and then go on your way. Where if you've got that fast repair checked and it was still that same 12 seconds damage, you've just used it up. So if you get more damage a little bit later on, you're kind of SOL. But also to what you were just saying about not using the fast repair, if you've got a truck that is ill handling, not up to speed at all, you can very, very easily lose this pack. And even if they have a good 10 laps like what we just saw there of green flag racing, you do, with the speeds these guys run, you do run the chance of being lapped.
Yeah, as a solo car, you could definitely go a lap down. If you have a good group of cars that have a little bit of damage each, you could probably hold them off, I would say 15, 20 laps rather than 10. So it really just depends on whether or not you feel like the green could run a long ways or if you think another caution could come out in the next 10, 20 laps. It's kind of a risk either way, because if you use that fast repair, you now no longer can fix any damage for the rest of the race, other than what you can fix in the pits for the timer. So if you get a good dent, it could take you 10, 20, 30, 40 seconds, or it could take you 5 minutes or 30 minutes if you get into a bad wreck. So you could be multiple laps down here. And as I'm going to look at this real quick, Pete, with the points, I believe it should be coming up on screen now. Hunter Peach has 5 wins, and he is sitting out in front of Josh Arnold, who is second place on that outside of Cole Snyder. So the 26 of Hunter Peach is currently back in 13th. Early in the race, though, so we should see a lot of different racing styles. Hunter's probably going to try to survive this one rather than trying to be up front towards the end. We're going to go back green. Cole Snyder with that damage is going to lead him to the green flag here. Mike Honcho sitting right behind him. J-Paw did not get a good start on that. Even with the damage, Cole Snyder did pull out in front of Josh there on the inside line.
Yeah, Cole Snyder, but I'll tell you what, Jeff Lednam, he is going to want to get around this 99 in a hurry. You see the 19 coming up behind him. I'm going to guess he's going to use a little bit of draft and then eventually try a whole slingshot because he cannot stay behind him. That's actually slowing the 37 down so much. Here comes the 19 of Jake Millsap to his outside. He's going to pick up his buddy in that 22, old Josh Arnold. And on the bottom, here comes the 88 of Mike Allen. He's going to take over P number 3.
Yeah, I don't know if Mike Honcho can see the damage or not, but if he can see that big old dent in the back of the box cave on the trunk, I would immediately go around him and try to have the 19 and 98 push me, or the 88, sorry, of Mike Allen in that green car. I thought that was the Millsap car, but that is the 88 of Mike Allen, and Enrique has now gone to the outside. Now you see Mike slide up a little. Oh, that was the dent, or the drop off there. He didn't catch it fast enough, but I would immediately try to go to the outside. He keeps swerving to the inside of him. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, if he's trying to get underneath him, but with Enrique being on that outside line, I would immediately go to the outside and have Enrique push me around the 99 and try to get separation. Let that 99 slow somebody else down.
Yeah, absolutely. And the 37 you mentioned, getting underneath him. It's been coming off of the corners. I think the 37 is just doing a better job keeping that thing pinned to the bottom, where the 99, not so much. One thing though that Jeff Lednam and Mike Allen and also the 57 of Zach Meredith sitting back there in P5, everybody mostly right now, I should say, is on that bottom line. There's 4 trucks on that outside line headed up by the 22 of old J-Paw, but he's got limited help. I mean, yeah, he's got the 71 of Papaveri. He was one of the fastest in practice. And then I think that's going to be the 51 out there as well. And then the 98 a little bit further back?
Yeah, so 22, 71, 50, and 15 on the outside row. Then you have the 99, 37, 88, and 57 with the 26 right behind him on the inside row. So yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars on the outside lane right now. That should start pushing J-Paw up to the front. As you see, now here comes the run from J-Paw with Mike Campbell pushing him. Mike Honcho's trying to push the 99, but he's swaying all over the place. Big push from the 37. I think Mike should have probably went around the 99 a lot sooner. I don't think he should have sat behind him. I think that was slowing him down. But it was early in the race, so I do see somebody on the chat saying that the driver chat is not working. So I don't know if the push-to-talk isn't working or something. Mama Beast says, hey, the driver chat isn't working. So if these guys aren't able to communicate, that's going to make this really entertaining for you at IP.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm listening to team comms as well, and you just saw the 99 have to make a great save, and Jeff Lednam actually came over and apologized. So I was able to hear him, whether other drivers are not able to hear him or not, or it could be that they're in different channels, all teams, drivers only, and whatever. Papa Bears are asking everybody right now if everybody can hear each other or not. Nobody's answering, so yeah, there might be something going on with iRacing chat. Very, very unfortunate for the track they're at tonight.
Yeah, not a good track to not have communication between all the drivers on track. But that does make it a little more realistic, Pete. That puts it more like real NASCAR, where the drivers cannot talk to each other in the vehicles like we can on iRacing. So that's going to be very, very risky. Oh, and the 50 goes up the track and connects with the 99 a little bit, putting a little bit of a dent on that left side now. 99 now has dents on both front corner or front fenders. So 50 has a little bit of damage on the right rear as well, with the spoiler being up.
Yeah, the roles were a little bit reversed right there. The 99 was giving a big old shove to the 37 right behind the 22 of Josh Arnold. Now he's got the 98 behind him. So he's had and he still has some really, really fast trucks around him. Unfortunately, he has that damage, but if he can stay in the draft, I think he'll be just fine. I remember several years back at Daytona, Greg Biffle had a car that looked like he had garbage bags. You know, obviously the high-speed tape that they run just flapping in the wind. And his truck or his car was completely tore up, but because he was in the draft, he didn't have any issues, able to keep up with the leaders, and in the end, almost actually won the race.
Hell, Pete, we saw a first-time winner last year in NASCAR, Michael McDowell, who had a giant silver piece of tape on the front right fender and had tape going down the side of the truck or the car, and he wound up winning. We've seen a lot of cars at the end of the race with tape, taped up fenders, whatever you want to call it, fake fenders with the tape that they use to be able to create, the boundary between the tire, the front fender, and all of that. And it's crazy the amount of speed these guys can still carry with dents, with holes in the fenders and the hoods and everything else. This track is no different than those super speedways. If anything, it is even more of an essential to have a cleaner car or cleaner truck than having dents and dings and holes and everything else in it. But J-Paw's taking the lead on the outside from Mike Campbell. Papa Bear in that 77 Tigertown towing truck out front on the inside lane, being pushed by the 15 of Joshua Roberts. But now looks like Box Cave or I guess, what is it, Cold Dog Racing is all on the outside lane. You have the 22, the 19, and the 99 of Cole himself lined up in that outside lane for the front three on that outside. Then you have Mike Allen in that 88 green truck, and then the 50, which is Jarrett Manning on the outside. That inside line, though, did come back with the momentum being pushed from Josh Roberts. Mike Campbell back to the front. It looks like he does have a little damage on that right rear, though, Pete.
Yeah, you saw the 19 of Millsap kind of get a little checked up behind the 22 of J-Paw, and that allowed the 71 being very nicely pushed by that 15 be able to take the lead. I go back to a clip that's over on my channel of Papa Bear actually winning at Daytona in the NNR Truck Series, and I was so happy for him.
I love that race, Pete. I go back and watch that because you put it out there multiple times.
Yeah, yep. And it was just so much fun. I believe Rick James was actually in the booth with me for that. And for anybody that doesn't know, Papa Bear has come a phenomenal way. I mean, it used to be Papa Bear, he'd be laps down in any race, but you know what? He never gave up. Most of the time, he would turn every single lap of a race, no matter how far back he was, just staying in there for seat time, if caution came out or whatever. And then he came across, I think it was with Shad, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And Pop Bear ended up coming up side by side. Byron Jones, Yotes King, I believe, was running he was a lap down, and he backed off of both Papa Bear and Shad and let those two race it out. Papa Bear came across the line. I was so happy to call that race. Happy to see him get his first NNR win, and that was absolutely, as you would agree, that NNR was one league that you wanted to get a W in because that's really where the best of the best raced on console.
I tried for 3 years in 2 different series, and I could not get a win. I got second and third multiple different times, met you up in the booth. I mean, even finishing second and third and just getting to the booth was exciting for me in that league with that many heavy hitters. There was so many Pro League guys in the Cup Series. There was Pro League guys that would run down in the Xfinity and the Truck Series. You had guys that were 2-time champions running the Truck Series. You had guys who were 2-time champions in the Xfinity Series running. It was crazy the amount of talent that was in that NNR group in 3 series. Now those guys have all migrated to iRacing. We're seeing a lot of those guys popping up in here. That's why we have J-Paw. We have Enrique Quiones. You have Cole Snyder. You have Papa Bear. You have Bills Legends, who's down there in the 57 running that Buffalo Bills truck, who is a huge Buffalo Bills fan, and I'm sure he's excited that they got the win today. Then you got the 9 of Expert Racing. You got all these different guys who have come over: Hunter Peach, Sam Wade, Nate Lehman, all these different guys that raced over on the Xbox side. And then you have like Monday nights in the B-Water series. You have a lot of the Pro League guys with Bane. You have with the 42, Dohar's in there. Jose Ruiz, he races in this series, in the Xfinity series. So you have so many different drivers coming over. And I can't agree with you more. I was so excited to see Papa Bear win that race. Even more than I probably would have been excited if it was me that won the race. To watch the growth that Papa Bear has had from, like you said, he ran every single lap in that first season I saw him in, and he finished anywhere from 1 lap to 12 laps to 20 laps down, but he was consistently the nice guy. He'd stay out of the way, he'd move up, if you said, hey, Papa Bear, we're coming, he'd, pull off track, he'd go up to the wall, whatever it was. And he just worked and worked and worked. He is the Iron Man, in my opinion. He has just worked and gotten better. He's obviously gotten a little bit better equipment. He's gotten better testing. He's practiced. He's worked with a lot of the guys that are Pro League drivers. He's watched a lot of stuff. So to see Papa Bear out here in front, I would be more than just ecstatic to call a race with you, Pete, and have Papa Bear win it. The same with the driver who is one car behind him, or one truck behind him, in that 88 of Mike Allen. Those two, in my opinion, would be the 2 biggest winners, in my opinion, if they could come away with a win. And I would be more than ecstatic to call the race and have either one of them win this race.
Oh yeah, I mean, Mike Allen, he's an OG Xbox guy. Ramset back in the day, going back to NASCAR 09. That's actually where I first met Mike, and quite a few others. It would be awesome to see Mike get the W. And in fact, Mike was able to secure a sponsorship from a CBD oil company to pick up the Thursday Night Thunder series that almost said NNR, that Turned Down for What is going to be putting on. So make sure you catch up with that. That's going to be over on Expert Racing, so it's XR Network on Twitch. Make sure you go on over and give that a like, a follow, subscribe if you want to. But before then, we still got this Tuesday night's race right here, and I think tonight there was a little bit of a trial issue or something like that, where Advanced Auto or AutoZone, something like that, of North Carolina might actually be taking a look at Turned Down for What to see if they might want to pick up some as a sponsor for next season. So Turned Down for What continues to grow, and it's only because of the performance that these guys put on out there on track.
Yeah, speaking of our sponsors currently, though, we have 2. ADC Transports LLC out of Troy, New York. If you need anything transported, definitely hit those guys up. Phone number is up on the top right corner in that logo. We also have the DeCarlo's Auto Body Service Center for all of your special needs with anything of fixing up one of your vehicles, anything like that. Give those guys a call. 2 great companies up in New York. Mike Allen also brought those 2 sponsors in with knowing the guys that own those companies. So definitely, from what I heard, as we talked about last week, Pete, DeCarlo's owner actually went out and bought a mid-teens thousand sim rig to get into iRacing because he has enjoyed watching the races or the broadcast back. He's really enjoyed it. He's really enjoyed watching the racing and the battles and stuff like that Turned Down for What puts on. So for an owner of a company to sponsor a league and then get so excited about the racing and stuff that goes on to then go out and purchase a $16,000 sim rig himself to come out on track at some point. I'd be very excited to know when he gets into his rig, gets practiced, and then decides to come out. Maybe he comes out next season. It'd be really cool to have a sponsor that comes out and actually races on track after coming into the iRacing new as a sponsor of an iRacing series, and actually comes out on track. I think it'd be very entertaining to see all that. We got guys going way down in the apron, Pete. I don't know if that's a signal if that was a Papa Bear call from before the race to say signal that you were going to come down pit, or if that was just guys trying to break the draft, which it did a little bit, actually. Those front four, which are box cave drivers, Enrique, Josh Arnott. Oh, we got another. Ooh, what's going on? Big. Oh, that was pit signaling. That's what it was. I did not know they called that.
Yep, the looks like I think it was the 98. He started that. He was ahead of that wagon train going down the backstretch, but 57 of Zach Meredith, old Bills legend, he was able to get ahead by being the most aggressive, getting on. I'm sorry, scratch that. I don't mind me. I'm not making any sense. By these guys pitting, rather. Zach Meredith still out there on track. He was able to take over the lead, and he's got the 26 of Hunter Peach, Josh Roberts, Sam Wade, and Nathan Lehman. That's going to be your top 5 right now. So going down pit road in a couple of different clusters to break that up just a little bit, probably a very, very good call. I would not want to see, well, I might want to see, 17 trucks go down pit road at one time, but it might not be good for that caution flag.
Yeah, I don't know about the strategy, though, because unless Bills came down during that first caution, which I thought the entire group did, I don't know why you wouldn't try to pit with the massive group, other than trying to avoid any incidents on track. But Hunter and Bills were by themselves, essentially. The other guys were there, but they weren't necessarily at the back bumpers, so the speeds are going to be way different compared to the whole group of cars or trucks that are together. So those guys, when these guys decide to come down pit road, they've got to time it to where they come back out on track with that main group.
Ooh, Bills is cooking it.
Yeah, Bills is flying. I don't know if he made that. Oh, he's on the brakes.
Yep, you locked him up.
Papa was way slow coming off that corner. I don't know if he's out of fuel, but he was way slowed down before the line, and these guys braked it right at the line to slow down. I don't know if he got slowed down in time, Pete.
Yeah, I don't know either, but you know what? If I'm Bills, yeah, you want to get in there fast, but at the same point, you're going to want to stay somewhat close to the guys around you, because when you come out, you're going to want them to come out with the draft, and I think you're 100% right about Pop Bear. Yeah, he led a bunch of laps, but the person in front always burns the most amount of fuel. I think as Pop Bear pulls into his pit stall, he is out of gas.
Yeah, right now we see these guys coming out of pit road right now. I don't know if some of them... I don't know if they know the secret. And I don't know if I want to tell the secret since we have a race on Tuesday. But I guess I will, since it's a broadcast stance. I would not even take tires this entire race. I would go 80 laps without taking tires. I've done it. Tires don't matter here. We've seen the tires where I've run with Michael York. I've run 95 laps, and we still had 90% on tires. I would only come in for fuel only, or fuel and right sides. And then the next time, fuel and right sides again. I would not change left sides whatsoever on this entire race, because you might as well change rights if you're going to send them for a full tank of fuel. But I would short pit an 8-second pit every single time rather than doing full pit stops. And I think that's what Bills did. 12-second pit stop.
Yeah, great stop for Bills. I think he might have taken right side tires and fuel. The only reason I think that is when you're throwing these trucks into the corner, you're actually having to turn the wheel quite a bit in order to keep it pinned down on the bottom so you don't wash up. And also, you know what? If you're gonna have to take that time to fill up these trucks, you might as well, grab rights, and then the next time you got to pit, grab lefts, and then grab rights, and then grab lefts. Just keep going back and forth. You're not losing anything. You might gain a little bit of grip. It would actually be kind of interesting to see what their tires were like during that first stint, if they actually didn't change anything.
Yeah, I think that was the mindset for Bills, Hunter Peach, Sam Wade, and Nate Lehman, because the four of them all came out together. The rest of that big pack that we saw pit is half a turn behind them. So they had to have short pit everybody else to take. I mean, when I'm saying short pitting, I'm saying not taking a full pit stop by taking 4 tires and full fuel. These guys had to have only taken 2 tires and full fuel to short pit the amount of time that they were on pit road. because that's the only way, in my opinion, that they got out in front of these guys. With the amount of speed that was in that group of cars, the amount of speed that they're carrying with the draft, these guys shouldn't have been able to beat them out because there was only 2 of them in a row when that whole group pitted. So they were losing time as that 2-car pack rather than, what was it, like 14 of them that pitted at the same time. So the rest of the field must have taken 4 tires. They must have not known about the short pit with taking 2 tires and fuel only.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of quoted, bold strategy, Cotton. We'll have to see if it works out for him. But this bigger pack is definitely going to come up on their hindsight pretty quick. They're only about 6 seconds, but we also talked about how fast these trucks can be when you've got 2, 3, 4, or 5 deep all in a line. Josh Arnold in P number 5 right now. He's not actually gaining on Nate Lehman. In fact, the front four, yeah, they're actually losing. They were just 6.2 seconds. Now they're 6.9. So these guys doing a phenomenal job, and Zach Meredith absolutely leading the charge. And this top 4, they're bad fast.
Yeah, the group that's behind them, the problem is they keep leapfrogging each other. You'll see one guy go to the outside, make the pass. You see Josh Arnold going on the inside of the 50 right now. That's not helping them. These 7, 8 drivers, or now I'm seeing a 9th, if they would all get together, and if the chat's not working, they can't communicate this, but they should all get in a line. That's why the 4 is pulling away from this 9-car pack back here, because they keep making passes on each other. You just saw the 50 go from first in the pack, now back to second to last in the pack. So they keep leapfrogging each other, and I think that's really slowing them down. Now that you have Josh Arnold out front with Mike Honcho pushing him, I think you'll see maybe guys stay in line. If they can, that will definitely help them run down that front 4.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Team Comms might be back kind of working. J-Pod was actually just asking Josh Franks, hey, don't push me. Where you're hitting me is making me a little looser. Kind of what it sounded like to me anyway. So now the 37, he's all over the back bumper of that number 22 Millsap graphics. Looks like a
I think it's the state of Mississippi on it.
Or is that okay? Well, on the side, right next to the number, I think it has Millsap graphics also. But yeah,
it kind of looks like a Nesquik base game actually. I'm seeing chocolate on the bottom, and on the back bumper it says "Shake It." So
yeah. I'm starting to think it is. On that right and left rear quarter panel, actually has old Yoo-hoo. Yeah.
Is it Yoo-hoo? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was Nesquik.
On the rear quarter panel's got Yoo-hoo. Gotta love that old stuff.
Yeah, I love Yoo-hoo.
Yeah, but
I could go for a Yoo-hoo right now.
Yeah, these top 4, they're absolutely skating away. We talked about them 4 or 5 laps ago. I mentioned they were 6.2. Now they're actually 7.5. So the front 4 continue to scoot away. No matter how much the 22, 37, the 9, the 19, and all those guys stay tucked up underneath. And as far as leapfrogging, that'll work in the F1 cars at a lot of tracks, specifically super speedways. But in these trucks, all it's going to do is slow each other down. And by J-Pod being up here in the front, just like we saw Papa Bear just a little bit ago, he is burning the most amount of fuel. So at some point, I think we're going to see that double deuce drop to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th position and let the 37 or somebody else take the lead and try to catch at least the draft from Nate Lehman.
Yeah, it's the same with the 57 up here. He has led since he came out of the pits with that 26 right behind him in the 27 and then the 14. So Bills is actually, or Zach Meredith, is actually going to have the same problem, I believe. And we saw it happen with Papa, like you said. So I know Bills really likes leading. And if Team Comms is not working, or if it is working, I'm not sure here. If everybody's able to hear each other, some might be able to hear each other and some might not be able to. Yeah, I think the same thing with the 22. The 57 needs to call it out to the 26 or the 14 or the 27 and say, hey, I'm dropping to the back of us. Next person in line. run 5-10 laps, then switch, go to the next person. We're halfway through, so you don't want to be running out of fuel, and you got to start looking at the strategy. If you're only doing fuel only or fuel and right sides only, how much fuel do you need for the end of the race?
Yeah, what are we on? We just actually crossed over into the second half, running lap 41 of 80 at this this mammoth size, 3-mile super speedway. I'm not quite sure if anybody actually ran a full fuel tank in practice to see what they were going to get. But then again, race conditions and then single car runs in practice they're going to give you two very, very different numbers. So I think these guys are all playing it by ear. But 17 in this group looks like they've got the strategy down. Watts, if you're talking, bud, I cannot hear you.
Oh, yep, I was on mute.
There you go.
Yeah, so this front four, they've got the strategy down. The back group there, I don't know if they're just not working well together. I don't know if it's they're leapfrogging each other. I don't know if it's they're trying to conserve fuel. I mean, we've seen other things happen at other super speedways with Josh Arnold leading a pack for a while and saving fuel. So I don't know. But they are losing time to this front four, and it's kind of shocking that a group of 8 or 9 cannot run down a pack of 4. When we were on Xbox, you could see on Daytona, Talladega, if you had 1 to 2 more vehicles than another pack out in front of you, you could eventually run them down in a few laps. These guys are not doing that, so I don't know if it's, like I said, they just aren't working well together, or they're leapfrogging each other, there's no communication, or they're saving fuel. But I'm really kind of shocked, Pete. I don't understand that. But these 4 here are definitely on the same page. These 4 here, I believe it's all 4 Checkmate Motorsports, if I'm not mistaken, Pete.
It very, very well could be. But you know what? I'm actually starting to see that clock go the other way. I mentioned they were 7.7 just a little bit ago. Now they're actually down to 7.2. But the 3rd and 4th truck in line, Nate Lehman and Mr. Wade, they haven't been completely tucked up underneath the back end of Hunter Peach. So they're actually starting to they were losing time. Now they're starting to gain that time back, just about 7.5 seconds again. No matter how hard the 19 of Millsap or the 98 of Enrique Quinones or Q-Dog try to push, they're just not making up that, excuse me, they're not making up the time. But again, it's these super speedway rules and this package where 4 trucks can obviously go just as fast as, what do we got here? 8 or 9 trucks. Yeah.
But we did just see something, though. The 26, and I was going to say it was on a turn, but it wasn't. It was on a straightaway. He pulled out, but he was hard pushing the 57. I think he might have started getting overheated because he pulled out for about half a straightaway, so he needed to cool down a little bit. Then I saw the 27 do the same thing. I think the 27 might have been going into the turn, so that might have been just a slide up from the turn. But the 26 definitely pulled out. You can see him going down the straightaways. He definitely is trying to hang out that right front just a little bit from that 57 to try to get air to that nose, because he is tucked in on the back bumper of that 57.
Yeah, definitely right on the back bumper, and it looks like you just said, 27 kind of laying back a little bit. And I think somebody might have told the 14 of Nathan Lehman that he's blinking because I see him kind of stepping back just a little bit as well. And as you just took a long shot down that back stretch, you could see this long train a coming. But man, they need to step it up if they're going to be coming around the bend when it's time to see those checkered flags flying.
Yeah, I've noticed that with blinking people, when they blink, it does not give, they don't carry the draft. So as soon as you blink, you're out of the track, essentially. You obviously are still in the race, but your draft, if you notice, every time he blinks, he pulls back from the 27. So I think it's not allowing him to carry the draft. The only way to help that would be to put the 27 behind the 14. That way the 27 is continuously pushing the 14. But the 27 really has to pay attention to that blinking, because he could be in front of you in 1 second and then you don't see him in another second. So really got to be aware of that. But if these guys, I believe all 4 of them are part of Checkmate Motorsports, so they're probably in team comms talking to each other. They're probably well aware of what's going on. These guys are catching a front pack, though, of, I believe it's Terry Radford, the 88, and Mike Allen. It is Papa Bear, and it is Joshua Roberts. These 4 are in a chat, too, I believe. These guys should be working well together as well. They're trying to get away, but that 4 is slowly catching up to these guys. The 71 is 1 lap down, and Terry Radford is 2 laps down. I don't know when Papa Bear went a lap down. I think that might have been when he ran out of fuel. That's got to be the only way.
Yeah, it's going that. I mean, even though this track is huge, at the speeds that they run, you definitely got to be able to keep up with the pack. So I'm going to guess that Papa Bear came out by himself and was able to catch up with these other 3 cars as they came on by.
Oh, we got cars coming down pit road.
There we go. So that's the time. So this is they're going down pit road at lap 49, about to start 50. So they will have 30 laps left.
Their 19 lap run.
Yep.
So that's going to be one more pit stop, it looks like.
Yep, one more pit stop. But I tell you, J-Pa and those guys, they had cut that down from 7.5 to just about, or just shy then, of 6 seconds. So they were formed up, they had the momentum, but it was just a little too late. And now you see Papa Bear staying out. Looks like the 3 of Terry Radford, he's going to stay out with him. Hopefully he sees him. They don't. And Papa Bear's up on the wall. Kind of looked like Herbie the Love Bug in that last Herbie movie. Papa Bear came on back over and knocked the 22 sideways.
All right, let's back it up here. Let's just Papa Bear. Oh, I don't.
That is going to be an interesting replay from that 71.
I think the 71 thought the 3 went down pit road, but he was. I mean, they were all the way down the straightaway. All of a sudden, Mike just went left, and he 50-50 rail slid the inside wall there, all the way down to the end of it, and came off and took out the guys that had just come down pit road with all of the boxcar cars. Or box cave cars, or trucks. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting if you watch from Mike's. I swear he thinks the 3 have went down pit road. As they come around the corner here, you're gonna see the 88. He called it out. I could hear it in race comms. Now whether or not everybody else could hear that, I don't know. But he called it out, so he ducks off. I believe the 15 ducked off too. Oh, I went too far. All right, so let's rewind this a little bit. All right, so you see the 88, the 15 go down pit road. You look at the 3. He almost goes down but doesn't. He comes back up on the track. I don't know if the 71 thought he went down pit road, but you would think that bright pink, purple, whatever you want to call that, would be very noticeable on track. Yeah,
when Terry came back up on track, Papa Bear was definitely able to still see him because he was in front of the 71. He knew that he stayed out, but Papa Bear actually came over in team comp, said, "Man, I apologize. My truck just turned." So very unfortunate. But yeah, that was actually pretty cool. That was actually pretty cool how he rode the wall like that.
Yeah, I can barely see the pink out the left window, so I don't know what Mike has for a view. If he's on the dash, like my grandmother, but he may not be able to see out that window. So if he can't see out that window, he might not be able to tell if that car went down pit or didn't go down pit road. I'm looking right now. I don't see you can barely see that pink car out the window.
Boy, I tell you what, at the end of his rail slide down
Look at that thing.
down that wall, Pop Bear went box cave bowling. He took
Yeah.
he took out J-Pop.
I'm sure-
He took out a few of those box cave
I'm sure.
trucks.
Look at when he comes off the wall. He comes off.
Yep.
I think he jumped the car almost. Look. Whoop.
Yeah.
He slid right across the 9 and the 22. 22's probably thinking, where'd you come from? And
Right.
all of a sudden he comes off the wall and clips the 22. The 99 spinning around there. 98 spinning around. That's going to be some damage for a bunch of different drivers. So that's one of the more entertaining wrecks I've seen. But I'm sure Papa Bear's, kicking himself, trying to figure out what happened there. But, yeah, that's a crazy one. That definitely stirs everything up, though, Pete, because that puts TJ Hanley a lap down, and I believe that puts Enrique a lap down. If I'm noticing this right, it's showing him and Mike Honcho both a lap down, which should not be right.
Yeah, I think well, with the timing of the pits, I think let me see.
Well, the leader would have been coming right behind this group when the other guys were coming out of the pits.
Yeah, but they're kind of intermixed right now. I think Jarrett Manning will be the first one to go ahead and get a lap back. I'm not quite sure if there's going to be a lucky dog because of everybody that was involved in that right there. I really don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I see Enrique coming down the standings here, and he's down to 12th right now, but it's still showing him one lap down.
Yeah. Yep. I'm still saying Enrique's a lap down. Basically, from what I'm seeing, let me make sure that.
Well, he should be coming back through now. The leaders are pitting.
Yeah.
So he should get that lap back by staying out.
Yeah. If what I'm seeing is correct, Jake Millsap, Zach Meredith, Hunter Peach, Sam Wade, Josh Roberts, Josh Franks, Nate Lehman, Mike Allen, and TJ Hanley would be all your trucks on the lead lap.
Yeah, I'm showing Chris Murphy 1 lap, Mike Allen 1 lap, Enrique 1 lap, Jeff Ludnam 2 laps, TJ Hanley 1 lap, Mike Campbell 3 laps, and Terry Redford 6 laps. So,
yep.
I guess we're going to have to wait for this thing to get shuffled through. It says 1 to green, so I guess they're in order.
There you go.
That's kind of crazy, though. That puts almost half the field a lap down because of that incident. So, now we got a car spinning on caution. The 50 is now wrecked on the backstretch. Yeah,
there's Jarrett Manning. I had just mentioned him as possibly being the free pass car. SWAT's kind of interesting. Over the last several races, whether it is with the ARCA, the trucks, Xfinity, the Cup, the Next Gen, I'm not sure if this is just a recent update to iRacing, but you've never been able to figure out exactly what the pace car is. Well, pace car very clearly is the new Mustang. It doesn't look like something else. Actually, has the Ford
Before
Mustang
it looked like a
emblems
Saab.
And, yeah, it looked like a Saab or it looked like something. So iRacing didn't have to pay royalties, but yeah, this is very, very clearly a Mustang.
Well, duct tape fans out there are definitely going to be excited to see that 19 up front in first place. Zach Meredith in that 57 of the Buffalo Bills paint scheme outside in second. Hunter Peach third on that inside line in that Menards paint scheme. 21 of Chris Murphy out on the outside in fourth. And then Josh Roberts sitting fifth. Now it's saying Franks is in pits, so I think he's going to move down the board. Jarrett Manning is showing... he's falling... Nope, he went to sixth. I don't know. This whole thing's kind of jumbled up with this thing happening where it happened. Like I said, leaders were coming around. So I think the 98, because he was backwards, went a lap down. And I think that's the same with Mike Allen, who was in pits when it happened. Because the 57 didn't pit until a caution came out. Mike Allen had just decided to come down pit road with the 15 when the caution happened with Mike Campbell and Terry Radford. So I think that kind of jumbled everybody up. These guys are definitely going to be looking for an early or a helpful caution at some point to get half the field back on the lap.
Yeah, this is gonna be
God, A&W. I haven't seen an A&W
yeah,
forever since
the
I was
old
in Texas.
A&W root beer. I tell you, I'm gonna grab a quick beet water so I can get rehydrated. Maybe even open up a packet of a raised energy hydration pack as well. I will be right back with you, buddy.
Yep. Yeah, I remember A&W, the restaurant out in Texas. I've definitely eaten there a couple times. It's definitely really good. Pretty cool paint scheme by Millsap as well. I'm liking the Buffalo Bill paint scheme. The Menards paint scheme is the usual one. That Quick Lane paint scheme looks pretty cool. I really like Mike Allen's too, the green that he has going on over there. But we are one lap to green. Pace car, that new Ford Mustang iRacing has put out, will be going down pit road at fast speed right there. The 19 is going to lead him to the green flag. Bill's Legend or Zach Meredith to the outside in second position. Jake Millsap leading a lap with 26 to go at iRacing Superspeedway for a turn down for what tonight? It is myself, KSG Gaming, broadcasting with Repeat in the booth.
All right, so yeah, 19 able to stay in front of the 57 of Zach Meredith. Then you see that lime green number 26, Hunter Peach. He's been very, very consistent in the points all season. Only a few more races to go, and then right behind him, you got the 15 of Josh Roberts, and then Nathan Lehman, old Commando Griff, sitting there right there, P number 5.
Yeah, Bill's kind of took it to the youngster with going to the inside of him there. And put him to the outside lane with Chris Murphy right behind him, who then, checks up because the 88 slid up the track and almost got into the 19 going into that corner. 21 checked up, and that took a ton of momentum as he goes to the back of the pack now. Although, Pete, even though J-Paw was in that incident, I think this really helped that back group of 9 trucks that we were watching. Even though some of them were involved in that and some of them may have had to use their fast repairs right there, that brought the whole field back together. With them being so separated, I think we were going to be watching the front 4 run away, and then that back 9, who was making up a little bit of ground, but they did come into pits before that front 4. I don't know. It would have come down to a really weird finish. I don't know if they would have been able to catch and get with that front 4 or not, because they were really working together, pulling away from these guys. And 2 of them are back up front again with Bill's Legends and Hunter Peach up front.
Yep, everybody back up front. It's funny when you're just talking about all those trucks kind of scattering just a little bit. If you actually sit and look at this track, there are 6 very, very distinct lanes. So in the beginning of the race, when we were talking about how wide you can go, you couldn't do what those 3 trucks did at in Atlanta or a Las Vegas or even a Daytona. There is not 6 lanes to fan out and avoid any kind of contact with another truck that hits such a massive bump like what you see here at iRacing Superspeedway.
Yeah, that bump is definitely something. If you have not run this track, you really got to pay attention to those bumps going into the corner and coming out of the corner. Myself, I like to stay up a half lane from the bottom going into the corner so I can really kind of yank the wheel to the left to get it to curve down to the bottom, and then kind of go back up a half lane and ride it out. And then as you come out of the corner, I don't like to ride the yellow line coming out of the corner. I like to carry the momentum off the bump and go to the middle of the track and then work my way back down to the yellow line. Like you see Bill's doing now. He's not down at the bottom. He's working his way back down as he's doing it, but he kind of goes up the track a little bit coming off the corner so that you're not scrubbing the tires and losing speed and momentum coming off the corner. You're just pushing the momentum up track and carrying it. That's where this track is real tricky. A lot of the guys, like I said, they think it's Daytona and Talladega where you got to stay on that yellow line. It's the shortest way around the track. But the way that the corners are set up, going in and out, you scrub off so much speed by yanking that wheel to stay down at that yellow line. So I just like carrying the momentum, so I kind of stay up a half lane so that I don't have to yank it as much going in, and I don't have to try to correct the truck to stay down at the bottom coming off the corner.
Well, now let me ask you, Swats. We're sitting at 22 to go right now. Next time by is going to be 21. You mentioned a little bit ago that these guys were going about 19 laps on a tank. All right. If you're Bill's Legend, if you're the 26, if you're the 88, if you're the 15, those 4 had a great strategy earlier do you short pit? Do you come on down when you know you can make it the rest of the way and try to, break away from these guys just staying nose to tail as they were, where they were actually pulling away from a pack of 8 other trucks? Do you try that again when you know you can make it to the end just by topping off the tank? They could probably go into their fuel and bring it on down to just what they need on laps. They don't even have to take a full tank. And just top it off, come on back out. Don't throw tires, like you said. You don't need them, and lay all your chips on the table. See where they fall, or do you stay out here and just ride it out and pit when you have to?
So I'm not saying I would do this Tuesday, even though I probably will, but in this situation, if I'm the 57 or the 26, I'm running it out. I'm not short pitting. I would run it out so that I know I only have to put either one tank, half a tank. That is a very, very quick pit stop if you're only doing a half a tank of fuel, because you know you're only going to have 6-8 laps left in the race. So you're only going to need 8 laps of fuel, rather than if you pit with 19 to go or 18 to go or 17 to go. Even if you only put a half tank in, the part I have a problem with iRacing is it doesn't necessarily put in the amount of fuel that you need. It puts in the amount of fuel that you have to get to. So kind of like on Xbox, where if you needed a quarter of a tank, you only got a quarter of a tank put in. You didn't get exactly what you needed. It went the whole time to put that quarter of a tank in. So with iRacing, if you need 7 laps, you can pull that thing down to 7 laps, but it's only going to give you enough for 7 laps in the tank, not necessarily the 7 laps you may need. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's kind of hard to judge it. So I would run it out. I would make everybody else go. The 4 drivers of the 57, 26, 27, and 14, they stayed out longer than the big pack that pitted. Everybody else in that big pack's probably thinking, oh, I'm going to short pit and I'm going to try to get ahead of these guys. With the amount of fuel that you need, you're going to be on pit road longer because you're going to have to put that much fuel in the truck. So I would run it completely out, half a lap and then pit, because you're only going to need to put 6-7 laps in the fuel tank rather than having to put 19 laps of fuel in the tank, even if you don't take tires. And even if you do take only right side tires with that fuel, you're still going to be on pit road longer than it is to take a splash and no tires. So I would run it completely out, take that splash, no tires, and do a 5-second pit stop compared to a 14 pit stop.
There you go.
That would be me. That's just my opinion.
But when you're thinking about it and you're really taking the time to understand your situation, you're not just going blind into it. You're actually thinking it through and hoping that it's all going to work out just that way. And I'm not sure if you noticed, and anybody out there in chat noticed, as it looks like you're sitting about 20 right now. So definitely want to thank everybody for coming out, hanging out, chatting it up, and keeping us company. But the 22 of Josh Arnold, J-Pop, was actually just lapped by the 57 of Bill's Legend and the 26. So he's got to try to stay right where he is right now. Even though I don't think he's the first truck 1 lap down. I believe right now the 88 of Mike Allen. I think Mike Allen right now is the first truck 1 lap down. But Josh Arnold just able to pull him back in front of the 57. That gives him his lap back the hard way. And that's going to put 9 trucks now, I believe, on the lead lap.
Yeah, it's still showing Josh Arnold as 2 laps down. It's showing the 21 as the first truck a lap down on that outside row with, I believe it's Mike Allen second, and then Enrique, the third truck that is 1 lap down. So those 3 are battling to get back on the lead lap. You see the 98 on the inside row. The other 2 are on the outside lane trying to make it work. The 22, obviously one of the biggest Superspeedway drivers, as we have talked about throughout this broadcast. I don't think the 57 cares that the 22 is out in front of him, because he can save a little bit of fuel off of him. He's not racing him for position, and he can help pull him around the track. So I don't think there's anybody else you'd want to follow, even if he's a lap down or 3 laps down or whatever he is right now. I think he's 2. But I really don't see the problem with the 22 up there. maybe the 57 did call it out and say, 22, get your move out of the way. But J-Paw got completely out of the way now. I would have stayed out in front of him. It's not hurting him, so I don't see a problem with him staying out there.
Well, I mean, there have been many discussions during races about lap cars getting in the way or racing among the leaders. Maybe J-Pod just figured, you know what, I shouldn't be here if something happens and I get taken out. He already had to use his fast repair after Papa Bear's wall slide. So maybe he figured, you know what, I don't need to be here. I just need to kind of ride and get the most amount of points I can and not possibly finish even more laps down. We are coming down. We are winding down to the end of the season. I think there's 2 more races after tonight.
Yep, we got Bristol and then Charlotte. Championship race.
Oh boy, Bristol, that's going to be a very, very interesting race next week. And then, like you said, Charlotte, and then finally to wrap up the entire season, a great multi-series all-star race between both series. Everybody had the chance, or has the chance still, for anybody that's undecided to pick which series car they want to run, whether it's going to be a truck or the Xfinity car at Talladega Superspeedway in just a few very short weeks before the turn down for what truck series and Xfinity series goes back underway.
Yeah, and I do believe at some point here we're going to talk about possibly doing a vote for a specific driver or drivers, one from each series. It just depends. Right now it's kind of fluid. It kind of depends on how many drivers put in for attending the All-Star race, and then how many drivers are in that top 10. How many drivers have won that are not in the top 10? How many drivers that have gotten a pole that are not in the top 10 that automatically qualify them for the All-Star race? So at some point here, I believe we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out how many it looks like by the Charlotte race, and then probably do an all-star vote for the Charlotte race for automatically getting in. So either that or we'll do it during the heat race, but I don't believe we have a broadcaster set up for the heat race, so I don't think we'll do an all-star vote race during that specific heat race, but I think we can do it during the championship race and get at least one of each driver series selected as a all-star fan vote. I know last year, I think it was Papa Bear that got the fan vote that we did at Bristol. So it's going to be kind of fun to see all the different drivers that make it in, people. We are 12 laps to go on this gigantic track. It's been an entire eventful, caution here, there. I think we've had 2. One very exciting with a score of about a 94 on the grind that he did on the inside railing there. But bringing back the old X Games flashbacks in my head. But 11 laps to go now. Bills is the leader with Hunter Peach right tucked in behind him. Does he push him? Does he stay with him this whole time as he has stayed tucked to that back bumper this entire, basically 3/4 of the race that these two have been locked together? Do they stay together? Does he pull out in the last lap? Does he try to get him loose? Does he try to get underneath him? Does he try to use Nate Lehman to help him go around? Does he try to make the pass before, the last lap? We do have a whole group of cars, though, coming down pit road. That is the group that we said could possibly pit at the 10-lap. Bills, as I said, that would be my opinion of staying out longer. These 3 did it earlier in the race. They worked great together with their 4th person, the 27, who I do believe is still back behind them right now, still out on track. But these 3 are staying out on track. They are running tucked up against each other. This would be my decision. I would stay out, run it to the fumes, and then throw in only the little amount that you need.
Yep, absolutely. And it's like you just said, there is only one truck missing out of this top 3. Zach Meredith, Hunter Peach, and Nate Lehman. That's excuse me. That's 3 of the 4. The next truck in line is going to be the 22 of Josh Arnold, though, as you said, a lap or more down. He's got 4 trucks. They got 3 trucks up front. These 3 are definitely going to come on down together, and if they can do it in sync. Get down pit road, get whirled up, get slowed up, only grab the fuel that they need, come on back out. We'll have to see if they can get a gap again. But so far, the 22:57.15, that was the other guy. And as you said, who's the guy behind the 15 right now? Not 100% sure.
27, Sam Wade.
There you go, Sam Wade. He was the fourth.
Here they come.
One. Oh, looks like 14 got a little loose, almost plowed that inside wall, and 57 of Bill's Legend completely locked him up.
Yeah, I don't know how he holds onto that truck. Every time I try to do that, it just goes sideways. But he locks it up so late.
Great bias is your friend.
Yeah, he locks it up so late and didn't get the black flag earlier, so he's got it figured out. But he is going at the last second of braking to carry that speed into that line. Same with the 26. So now we see these guys coming in, no tires. 57 coming out, 26 coming out. They're coming out right behind each other again, and they're going to be almost half a lap out. I don't know. The speed they're carrying, the 15, 22 back there, I think they're still going to be out front. These two are going to be paired up next to each other. I don't see anybody else right close to them as we look back from the 57. Oop, wrong one. 57. So the 14 and 27, those two we were talking about earlier that ran with these top two, they are gapped. But I don't see the major pack come. Oh, there they come off of the turn. I don't know if they catch them. I think there's still going to be a gap.
Yeah, I do too. But, at this time, the 57 and the 26 of Hunter Peach, these guys have been nose to tail. And it seems like the 57 has been very, very content with the 26 pushing when he's needed to. But at the next two, they have completely lost him now. So these two are really going to have to work together and work together very, very well. 26 is going to have to get a little bit aggressive and shove that 57 for all he's worth, only ducking out every now and then to cool off that 26. That way he doesn't get too hot and overload. But from first and second back to third and fourth, you're talking about a second and a half. But a little bit further back from Josh Roberts, Jarrett Manning, Enrique Quinones, and I believe experts even a little bit further back, you're talking 20 to 30 seconds easily.
Yeah, the only thing I'd be worried about is the four drivers that are back here in the pack that are in contention. Two of them, which is Cole Snyder, Jake Millsap, and actually it looks like Enrique might have got back on the lead lap somehow. But the three of them are in contention. They are being all four box cave drivers with Josh Arnold in there. Then they have Mike Concho, who started on the outside row for the beginning of the race. That's 5 trucks in a row, and they are making up a little bit of time on Zach Meredith and Hunter Peach. Nate Lehman is still about a half second behind those front two. But if those four, I kind of think, and this may be a bad opinion or bad way of thinking, but I would think that 57 and the 26 might drag a break just a hair to get the 14 and the 27 to the back bumper. That puts 4 trucks. 2 and 2 separated a half second to a second. This foursome should gain some time on them.
Yeah, that 14 and 20, that 14, and I believe it's going to be the 99, I think.
The 27 and 15 all got with the 26 and 57. So now there's 5 trucks up there. So that's going to be difficult for all those guys to catch them.
Yep, 14, 27. So there's your
97.
Your 4 from earlier. Something just fell behind me.
Only those 3 are in contention, though. 57, 26, and 14 are the only 3 on a lead lap in that group, though. The 27 and 97 are both either a lap or multiple laps down. Then you have that far pack that is not really catching them.
No.
So, and only 3 of those guys are in contention for the win. So it's going to come down to Zach Meredith, Hunter Peach, and Nate Lehman on who decides to do what to who. And I believe all 3 of them, plus the 27, who's right there with them, these are the 4 Checkmate Motorsport guys that I was talking about earlier. So I do believe these 4 are all in Team Comms, and when the group goes silent, you know something's about to happen. Because if you're not communicating as much as you were communicating in Discord, you can probably bet if you're the leader, the 3 guys behind you are all plotting, trying to figure out without saying too much what they're going to do. We got 4 laps to go, Pete.
Yep, 4 laps to go. And actually, it's only Zach Meredith, Hunter Peach, and Nate Lehman. Behind those guys, the next car or truck that is
the 99 of Cole Snyder.
Yep, and he's 8 seconds behind.
Yeah.
So the 27 somehow he ended up 3 laps down. So he's definitely got some issues.
Yeah, he was involved in that wreck when Papa did the rail slide.
Yep,
and I don't think he used his fast repair. I think he sat on pit road because he wasn't expecting to be in that caution. He had it turned off.
Yep. So Zach Meredith, Hunter Peach, Nate Lehman, Cole Snyder, Mr. Millsap, and Mr. Manning. Only those 6 are left on the lead lap right now.
Yeah, if I was Bills, I'd be probably sweating because you know the 26 and 14. The 14 has a win. 26 is the points leader. And there we go.
That's for the lead.
So that's what I was saying is I don't know. I'd be sweating bullets back there thinking which one of my teammates is going to go first. And 26 pulled the move first, but did he pull too fast, Pete? You got 2 laps to go.
I don't think he did because there is a whole like you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, you could be the trailer. Yep, you could be the guy in the back on one lap
wide.
and the guy in the front the very next lap. Like you mentioned, 3
there
wide.
Goes Bill back
26
to the lead.
100 Peach. Bill's going to take the lead back.
That's what I'm saying. I think 26 went a little too early with that.
Yeah.
I think he just went way too early with it to try to make the move. Now, he did set him up. So now Bills knows that the 26 is going to try to make the pass. So the 26 has got to figure out, well, when would he be expecting it, and when can I use this momentum? Now you got the 14 going to the outside with the 27, who's also in contention. All 3 of these drivers are competing hard right now, and all 3 of them are probably begging the other teammate in the 27 to help each one of them.
Now, if you're the 50, look at that. 57 did a great job right there. He pulled up into that second groove where he had a feeling that Hunter Peach was going to try to pass him. Go ahead and call it, buddy.
Oh, big move by the 14. That was a huge momentum shift for the 14 coming on the inside like that when the 26 got hung out to dry. But the 26 fighting back, that's that middle lane I was talking about where you carry the momentum. If you don't hard turn it, you carry so much more momentum out of the corner if you don't try to hard turn. Look at the 26 going to the inside of the 57. Now, does the 26 give up?
That's it, bud.
That's it. Hunter got the win. Wow. He made the move coming off of turn 4. We've got to go back and look at that. I didn't think he was going to be able to pull it off.
He did, yeah.
So as they come off the corner here is where you can see it. Nate gets a huge push from the 27. It brings him right to the back bumper of the 57. But the 26 by himself outside is able to hang right next to the 14. You see him dip, get the side draft. It pulls the 14 back. He gets the 57 up high, gets the draft, swings right between the two, just dices, and carries that momentum across the finish line. That is one hell of a skilled driver to just swing right between the two of them at that speed. That's a great finish, Pete, especially for this track. That's pretty exciting.
Oh, yeah, with how fast the holes close here, as soon as his spotter said clear, he dove to the left. And, yeah, great job by Hunter Peach. Zach Meredith in that Bills truck, bringing home P2, led a whole bunch of laps. But how about the 14 of Nathan Lehman? Oh, Commando Griff, bringing it home P3. Cole Snyder P4, Jake Millsap. Great job by him to bring it on home P5. It'll be a good night, good points night for that 19.
Yeah, look at the distance, Pete. He's closing so much on the 57. You can see he's not clear on the 14. But just as he clears, look, whoop, right in front of the 14. He gets the air push from the 14, and that just propels him past the 57. that's a move right there. 3 teammates battling it out. I think that's pretty cool. No wreck, no bump. But the 26, that's like I said, that's one hell of a dive between 2 drivers at that speed, and to pull it off. That's the points leader. That's his 6th win of the season, Pete. Like, he's obviously figured it out. He's got some major speed as we see him get spun by the 22, who unfortunately tonight finishes 13th. So that brings Hunter out pretty handily with 2 races to go. This should give him about a 20-point gap on the 22 of Josh Arnold. So we'll see Josh Arnold go to Bristol. Josh did say Bristol was one of his favorite tracks next to Pocono and these super speedways. So we'll see. Last year, I think he led going into the finish and then got turned. So, and then I do believe he did win Bristol at the N&R Truck Series. So it's going to be an interesting race. It's going to come down, I think, to the Charlotte race with these 2 drivers. It's going to be insane. So definitely stay tuned for Bristol and Charlotte. Does Hunter finish it out, or does Josh Arnold be able to sneak up there in the points? We're going to get the top 3 in the booth and see if we can figure out what everybody's thinking here. All right, Pete. So I am seeing Zach Meredith. I am seeing Commando Griff, Nate Lehman, and I am seeing Hunter Peach in the booth. Pete, go ahead and take their place.
Absolutely. Man, Nate, one hell of a job in that 14. It seemed like the group of 4 trucks that you had right around the middle of that race were really able to stay ahead of a bigger pack of like 8 or 9 trucks. 7 seconds, give or take, behind you. If the race had stayed green from there, do you think that it would have been a battle amongst you 4? Or do you think at some point when you had to come on back down pit road a time or 2, they might have been able to catch up? But when did you know that this was going to very easily be a race you can win?
Well, Pete, first off, I got to congratulate my teammates, Peach and Zach, and Baritone was up there too, helping us out. All 4 of those cars are part of Checkmate Motorsports, so we were working together, communicating. The strategy really flipped when we decided to come back down and top off. We didn't want to come in pit road with everybody else with the whole mass group of cars, so we came down, topped off, and that was really the big deciding factor, if you will. We were all able to really hit our marks come to pit road. Didn't really have anybody in front of us to worry about. And from there, I was expecting that whole pack of like 10 cars to reel us in at the end, but when I saw the ticker just staying constantly at 7 for the most part, I knew right there we had something special going on. So all in all, fun race. Strategy at the Superspeedway, you don't really see that a lot, but this really reminded me of the Stuart Haas cars pulling away at Talladega a couple years ago and putting a whooping on the field.
Well, man, big congratulations on your P3. Any quick shout outs for you, buddy?
Yeah, shout out to obviously my smoking hot wife. It's been a while since I've been able to give her a call out. It's been a while since I've been in the booth, Pete. So we've been hovering around kind of 5th. Haven't really been able to break into the top 3. So it's just nice. It's nice to be back up here talking to you and just hanging out. So thank you to you guys for calling the event. We couldn't do it without you guys broadcasting. And tune in on Tuesday for our Xfinity race for sure, and the B-Water Series on Monday.
Oh, I'm looking forward to both of those, as well as the East Park race. All right, man, congrats. Swats, I think this Bills guy, I know they won in New York State today. What about here on track?
Unfortunately, we didn't see that Buffalo Bills truck go to victory lane tonight, but one of the fastest trucks on track led a lot of laps tonight, pretty much the second half of the race. Zach, I didn't know what was going to happen there. I know Pete and I were kind of, I guess, spitballing, going with different ideas, and at the same time, Hunter made the move. So we were kind of wondering what was going to happen there. I know you slid up in front of him to try to block him a little bit. Not necessarily, like a big block or nothing, but you tried to take the momentum off of him. He was able to slice right between Griff and you. It was paper thin. Slice right down in front of Griff. You three as teammates, I kind of figured you guys would be talking a lot in the Discord, or you guys would be dead silent trying to not give away what you guys were doing. What did you think of this race? And then the finish with 1-2-3 Checkmate Motorsports. We've had that happen, I think, only one other time, and I think that was Q Dog or Cold Dog Racing with 1-2-3 as well. So big shout out to you guys for Checkmate Motorsports for pulling that off. But yeah, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so the whole game plan was to, get us all in a line and, just coach the early part. If people were to wreck, they were to wreck. We just wanted to cruise. That's why you didn't see me press anything in the beginning part of the race. You see me anywhere from 10th to 15th in that area the whole time, just communicating with everybody, all my teammates in the front, in the back. Um, I tried guiding them through that first wreck that happened in front of us, and then even with the whole second caution with whatever happened on that, all I seen was smoke. And I said, guys, watch out, and seen a giant yellow car coming at me. So don't go low, follow me. I literally said, just follow me. But yeah, no, just like my man Griff said, it was him and Sam Baritone. They said was come back down, get one more extra lap, and that extra lap just got us away from everybody. We were able to stay out a little bit longer and execute our pit road how we wanted it. We were deciding go high, go low, go middle. Um, I mean, none of us sped. I mean, we nailed all of our pit execution on and off pit road, and then just staying tight as possible to make sure that pack of cars never got within a certain uh, time of us. So I mean, we got it up all the way to almost 9 seconds, and we seen it go back down to about 6.5. We're like, okay, let's tighten it up a little bit. And then as for the last 20 laps, we were talking back and forth, saying, if we're gonna make a move, we're not gonna do anything stupid. I mean, I treat them just like I treat everybody else. I'll race you hard for a win. I'm not gonna block you in a stupid way. So I took the block up high, but he sliced it perfectly down low, and I'm not gonna wreck myself or him or my teammate coming to the line, and possibly none of us even get to the line and ruin a team effort versus a hey, it's an I won instead of we finished top three. So it was a total effort. It was great runs by everybody. It sucks that Baritone kind of lagged out for a split 5 minutes. He deserved at least a top four with us. So besides that, I mean, good win to Hunter. It was a great move. Um, besides that, I got nothing besides go Bills.
Well, I can definitely tell you the Bills players, at least a few of them, have projected me or shot me into first place in my fantasy league and have won me the championship for my fantasy league. So thank you, Josh Allen. Thank you, Singletary. Both and the kicker Bass, both all three have propelled me into victory for the championship in my family fantasy league. So definitely not a Bills fan, but I am a fantasy fan, so I was rooting for several Bills players today to do very well. So, great race by you guys, great teamwork. We were kind of confused on what happened to Sam. I thought maybe he was involved in the wreck with the X Games event that happened down on the front stretch there. But, yeah, I didn't know he lagged out. That's unfortunate. He was definitely right there with you three. That would have been a 1, 2, 3, 4 for Checkmate Motorsports, and it would have made a really interesting finish if you guys paired up to try to pass each other. So definitely fun to watch. This is one of the more exciting races I look forward to, just because I love this track. I know it's a fantasy track, and people can say, "Oh, it's not a real track," but it's fun as can be on this track. 6 lanes, 7 lanes. You can go 10 wide if you wanted to. If you wanted to use the big giant apron down there, but you guys definitely pulled off a lot of good strategy. Zach, you're going to have to teach me how to brake, apparently, because you look like you braked at the last second entering pit lane and did not get a black flag either time we watched you light the smoke on the tires as you slid to the line to get slowed down. So definitely a great strategy. We got you guys not slowing down until the very last second and being able to pull it off. I don't know if I would be able to pull off that risk because my luck is I'd get the black flag. So great race by you guys. Great team. 1, 2, 3 by you guys. And congrats on the top 2.
Sure, man. Appreciate that.
All right, P. Let's talk to Mr. Points leader, Hunter Peach, who pulls off that just fantastic, exciting move coming down that front stretch there, paper thin between the 2 trucks he was in between. So go ahead, Pete.
All right, Peach, buddy, it's been a little bit since I talked to you. You got a copy, bud?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, Hunter. You came into tonight's race 498 points. Josh Arnold, 485. Very, very slim. You got max points tonight. You got Bristol and Charlotte Motor Speedway in the next couple weeks. But first, I got to ask you about that pass for the lead. How big was that gap? And was it just spotter saying clear, dive to the bottom, and go? Or did you make the move with a little bit of uncertainty?
Honestly, I really didn't want to put any of us in jeopardy, really costing us, like Bills and Griff said. Honestly, just full-on team win. Everybody did all their job, worked really well together. Sucks to J. Paul, though, that I think he had that pit exit or unsafe or something like that. Was that on that wreck?
I'm not sure what happened there. I know he got involved in that wreck coming out of the pits, but I don't know if he got a penalty or something from it. But yeah, he definitely got slingshotted coming out of the pits.
Yeah, something happened there, and it sucks for him. But yeah, back to pretty much that move. I saw him go up just a little bit and just kind of just got the run, and I felt like I was clear, but it didn't really feel enough, and then somehow this worked. I expected Bills to door slam me, which I would have been okay with. It's coming to a win, but all of us did a really good job. I really love to dedicate this win to basically all of us. It was all a team win, to be honest. We all worked pretty well together.
Well, man. So like I said, 2 races left. Bristol Motor Speedway next week, where literally anything can happen in such close quarters, and then Charlotte Motor Speedway to wrap it all up before we get into the All-Star race. Points coming in tonight, little slim. You got a few more to tack on. A little bit of a comfort zone next week, considering tonight there was only 17 cars on track. If there's only 17 next week, you're pretty safe still. You've got that 1 race buffer. How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself pretty solid for a championship, or is there still a little bit of sweat on the brow?
I think I got a really good shot, but I know J. Paul's really good at these short tracks. He's definitely going to be a threat. Charlotte's going to be kind of a little bit unknown. Bristol, I know J. Paul's really going to be a threat there, so just going to have to just go in there with the mindset and just trying to jeopardize what I have.
Yeah, right now, Pete, looking at the points, he has a 28-point lead going into next week's Bristol race, and that's if he also gets the bonus point for leading the lap and the win. But right now I'm seeing a note that says that the victory is unofficial currently. So I'm guessing there's going to be a discussion after the race about it. I'm not sure what's going to be talked about, but we're going to figure it out. But right now that puts Hunter Peach with 6 wins in this season. That's a huge total for this, 18 race season. That's a third of the season that he's won. So, crazy outcome for you for getting this victory. Like I said, 28-point lead over Josh Arnold. Josh did say Bristol was one of his favorite tracks, as we talked about earlier during the stream. So you're going to have to bring it if you want to get past Josh on Bristol. I know he won, I believe, Bristol for N&R when they were in the Truck Series in their season. So, definitely a track I would look out for Josh Arnold. These 2 tracks right here, iRacing Superspeedway, Bristol back-to-back, usually the bread and butter for Josh. So unfortunately that he was in that accident coming out of pits, but definitely benefited you tonight with a 28-point lead leaving the race. great race overall. Like I said, for you three, Checkmate Motorsports putting on a show. 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably would have had 1, 2, 3. Probably would have had 1, 2, 3, 4 if Sam hadn't lagged out of the race. But congrats on the win. Congrats on the team victory as well. I also want to give a shout out. I don't normally do this, but I'm going to. Jake Millsap finishing P5. Great race overall for him. So I did see a few duct tape fans out there in the chat, so that's why I wanted to give the shout out to Jake. Come a long way from where we saw him in the beginning of iRacing when he jumped on here. To run at the front like he did, leading those laps, to run the top 10, to finish top 5. Great result, great race for Jake. Definitely a super fun race to watch all around. Pete, I love having you in the booth. You're, like I always say, every single time you're in here, you're always welcome. There's a chair designated with your name on it anytime you want to be in the booth. Next week at Bristol should be fun. Hopefully we get a few more turnouts from different drivers here. I know we had a few that missed this week due to work or certain circumstances, but I'd love to see 25, 26 guys running around Bristol. Same with the Charlotte race for the championship race. And then, like I also said at the beginning of the broadcast, we had big news: the All-Star race, the heat race January 30th, and the All-Star race itself February 2nd. As of right now, I believe we only have 9 guys that are guaranteed into the All-Star race due to wins, polls, and then obviously where they're probably going to end up in the points. But I think there's 19 guys signed up as of right now. So hopefully we can get, I think there's 40 drivers total between the 2 different series to show up. That would be a really good turnout for the All-Star race. Talladega, 2 different series on track at the same time. Truck series and Xfinity series, both on track at the exact same time. You do not have to be in the top 10 right now. You don't have to be a winner. You don't have to be a pole winner right now. Go and sign up if you are a truck driver or an Xfinity driver for the race, so we know the attendance, and then we'll figure out from there who made it in officially as the season ends. It's your points total at the end of the season that guarantees you into that All-Star race and then the heat race. So congratulations to all of you guys on track. Great race. 2 cautions, I think, 2 cautions. So awesome race. Really loved calling it with you, Pete, as always. I love being able to bounce it off of you in the booth, and you come right back, and we just go back and forth with all the different information and knowledge that we know about iRacing and the different drivers.
Supposed to be.
Yeah, the way we know these drivers, the way we've been watching or racing against these drivers for multiple years now. A lot of these guys we've known for several years. Like you said, Mike Allen from NASCAR 2009, and that feels like it was forever ago, which technically it was. So, I mean, it's crazy the amount of knowledge that we have about the different drivers, their driving styles, the tracks they like, the tracks they don't like. Just all of that information, being able to put it between the 2 of us is a killer combo. So I appreciate you coming out every single time you come out. And then major shout out to Mike Campbell for putting on this series. Couldn't do it without him. He is in my opinion, one of the best owners, if not the best owner out there on iRacing to work with. And then ADC Transporting and DeCarlo's Auto Body Service Center, 2 big sponsors for us. Really appreciate their support. And then if we did have the other sponsor looking to sponsor Thursday nights, if they were out there tonight, we really appreciate them being out there and watching. Hopefully they liked what they watched and liked what they heard. And hopefully we get them to come on for the sponsorship of the Thursday night series that we have coming up next week. Or no, this week, sorry. This Thursday starting. AutoZone, Next Gen Cars. I will be on track myself. So really looking forward to that series. It's going to be really fun switching from Next Gen to Cup cars, to truck cars, Xfinity cars, to different tracks. It's going to be all over the place with Superspeedways, all fast action. Definitely tune into Expert Racing along with Repeat in the booth on Thursdays. So, Pete, any last words for you?
I'm actually putting Experts channel out there right now in chat. So y'all make sure you go on over and smash that follow button. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you're a big fan of, Auto Club, Michigan, Charlotte, Atlanta, Chicago, Las Vegas, all the mile and a half to 2.5 mile tracks, you're absolutely going to love this Thursday night Thunder Series. Expert Racing, he does a great job with setting everything up. Great job with the graphics, making sure that we stay on top of everything. Make sure you come on out, hang out, chat it up, keep us company. We're absolutely going to put on the best show possible, or they're going to put on the best show possible. Expert and I will try to do our job as well. Swats, thanks for allowing me one more time. We got 2 races left in this season, but don't forget, Rick James still has Tuesday night right around 9 o'clock Eastern for the Xfinity guys.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this race on Tuesday. I'm hoping to pull off a victory or something here. Finished here about a year ago almost now, actually, in the NNR series in the practice season. Finishing second, with Alpha finishing third right behind me as I drove through your truck and Coey's truck, and kind of jumped you guys to get to second place as we came down the front stretch, as we had like a 30-car pileup coming out of turn 4. So definitely look forward to this race, and I'm super excited to get in the car. Haven't been in the car in the last 2 or 3 weeks due to just family stuff and things going on, and also I didn't like Nashville, so didn't attend that one, but these tracks, I'm looking forward to iRacing Superspeedway, Bristol, Charlotte, 3 major tracks. I think it's going to be great. So really appreciate everybody out there in the chat. Look forward to seeing everybody Tuesday night in Rick James TV 1's chat. Make sure you guys come out and follow, chat, do whatever you can to help out there. And then Thursday nights with Expert Racing on Turn Down for What's Speedway Thunder Series. So, and then Pete out on Monday nights in the B-Water series, and then I think you have the other series on Wednesday nights, right? The whatever it's
East
called.
Park,
yeah, East Park.
Yeah.
So a lot of different series coming at you from multiple different broadcasters here, but we're all part of the Turn Down for What family. So really appreciate everybody.